Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here and welcome to another book haul. This one is a mishmash of books that I have bought for myself that I've been sort of wanting to buy or have found on a trip up to London with my husband recently. There is a few here, so let's get going. The first book is one that I bought because I recently read one of her other books and really enjoyed it. I read Something Real by Heather Demetrios and really enjoyed that story, and so I picked up her latest book, I believe, which is called Bad Romance. I believe this is about a girl who's grown up in a household where her father uses fear as a way of getting his children to do things. Her mother is obsessively clean and she can't wait to get out. She forms a relationship with a young man who is very controlling and probably spirals this continuation of bad choices and bad figures in her life, so I'm interested to see how this one goes. The next one is one that I picked up A, because of what's on the front cover, but B, I've recently heard really good things about it, and that is Starfish by Akemi Dawn Bowman. Look, it's a jellyfish. I love jellyfish. This is a story of a young half Japanese girl. She is wanting to go to art school. She's living a pretty mediocre life. She doesn't get into the art school she's always dreamed of, and then her abusive uncle moves in and she gets the opportunity with a friend to go around touring different art schools, and she jumps at the chance. Even though she suffers from anxiety, she pushes herself, and I'm interested to see. I've heard this tackles certain subjects really well, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I think of this. The next book is one that I've heard is amazing. It's a thriller and it is Gone Without a Trace by Mary Turgesen. I've heard from someone on BookTube and I can't think for the life of me who it was now, but I heard from this person that this was amazing and there was thousands of twists and turns and none of them you could know. And she did say in her video, if someone reads this, come and talk to me. So I'm going to read it and then I will go and talk to her about it, because I think she wanted to talk to people about it, and I think she said she read it with her book club. I'm going to find out who it is and try and link it up above, but it really just made me want to buy it. So it's about a story of a woman. She's with a boyfriend, she goes to school or work one day, and I think she comes back and like every single trace of this boyfriend has disappeared. Like he's out of pictures, there's no trace of him ever having existed, but she knows he existed and yet no one else seems to know, and no one can sort of corroborate that story. Yeah, I just think it's intriguing, so I can't wait to pick this one up. The next book is called Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy, and this is the story which starts, I believe, talking about Hurricane Katrina and how that has changed this young woman's life. So I know that this has a lesbian main character, I believe, and it's about a young girl living in a trailer wanting more for herself, and I've heard it's a really good YA contemporary. The next book I picked up in my favourite second-hand bookshop in London. This one is probably like book 5 in a series and it's huge, but I wanted to pick it up because I do have the other books in the series and I really would like to get stuck into this, and it's called The Pearl Sister by Lucinda Riley. So the other books in this series, the series is called the Seven Sisters series, and it says it's based allegorically on the mythology of the famous star constellation. So the first 3 books are the Seven Sisters, the Storm Sisters, the Storm Sister and the Shadow Sister. Oh, so this must be book 4, and I believe I have the other 3, and I'm really excited about this, and I'm also interested. I do have a book about constellations, so I'm looking forward to looking that up and finding out a little bit more about the mythology of the Seven Sisters constellation. Also bought in that same second-hand bookshop is a book that I am trying, because everybody loves all of this writer's books. I'm still yet to find a book that I love that is written in verse. This is Sarah Crosson's Moonrise. This is an ARC copy that I picked up in a second-hand bookshop, but it came out in September, and I believe this is about, it says Joe hasn't seen his brother for 10 years, and it's for the most brutal of reasons. Ed is on death row. Now Ed's execution date has been set and Joe is determined to spend those last weeks with him no matter what other people think. So So I'm going to give it a go. I didn't get on with the other of her books. I can't remember what the other books were. Let's have a double check. Oh, One. I just didn't get on with One, and everyone loves that book. So I'm really hoping that this one changes that for me, but we'll see. I picked up a Holly Bourne book because I really love Holly Bourne and I want to read all her books, and it's called It Only Happens in the Movies. If I'm 100% honest, I was also drawn in a little bit by the fact that it's about movies and that there was popcorn on the front. That's horrendous that drew me in, but it did. And this says, bad boys turned good, kisses in the rain, climbing through bedroom windows, it only happens in the movies. When Audrey meets Harry, it's the start of a truly cinematic romance, or is it? Audrey knows that Harry is every movie cliche rolled into one, but she still chooses to let him into her heart. I'm a bit of a romantic and loved pretending that I was the main character in some of my favourite movies like Walk to Remember when I was growing up. So, oh, and also The Slipper and the Rose. So this sounds really fun and right up my street. The next one was a bit of a it's going to be a little bit of a trial for me. We'll see how I enjoy it. It's called The Word for Woman is Wilderness by Abby Andrews. This is a fictional story, I believe. It's about a 19-year-old girl, and she's fed up with seeing people like Bear Grylls and people on TV where it's only boys and men that get to go out into the wilderness and explore and live off the land and camp and do all those things. And she wants to do it as a woman, so she heads off, and it says that she goes on a voyage into the Alaskan wilderness, a one-woman challenge to the archetype of the rugged male explorer. So she goes from the Arctic circuit. She goes from the Arctic Circle across the breadth of America and finally to a lonely cabin in the wilds of Denali. And it says she looks at subjects as diverse as the moon landings, the Gaia hypothesis, loneliness, nuclear war, shamanism and the pill. So yeah, I think this sounds really good. I'll let you know. The next is a book that I've been hearing great things about, and that is The Lonely Hearts Hotel by Heather O'Neill. All I know about this is that it's set in the Roaring Twenties and that it is a fairy tale with a wicked heart. So yeah, I'm intrigued by this and I've heard good things, so I picked it up when I saw it in the second-hand bookshop. Right, and the final three books. The first one is I'll Meet You There by Heather Demetrios because I loved Something Real and this sounds brilliant. There's a boy and a girl. They work together in this quirky little motel off Highway 99 in California. The young man is an Afghanistan war veteran and the young girl is she's 3 months away from going to art school, but her mother has lost her job, and so I think this sounds brilliant. And I really enjoyed Heather Demetrios is Something Real, which is a YA contemporary, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. This one I've heard is amazing and a must read, and that is Tell Me Three Things by Julie Buxbaum. I really like the front cover of this as well with the waffles. So this says, tell me three things I don't know about you. You know, besides your name and, well, everything else. SN. Okay, 1. I make a killer grilled cheese. 2. If you met me even a year ago, I was a totally different person. 3. I don't know. May keep this one to myself. Me. Come on, you keep everything to yourself. SN. 3. I like you. Me. 3. I like you too. So I just think this sounds really good. It's got a lot of different types of formatting in it. A lot of it is written in what seems to be maybe emails or messages to each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I think of this one. And then the final one is one that I'm just hearing rave reviews about, and that is Bonfire by Kristen Ritter. This is still in hardback. It's quite a new release. I just couldn't not get this. It sounds like a really good thriller. You may recognise Kristen Ritter from TV. She's been in all sorts of shows. I think she is from she's from Don't Trust the Bitch in Apartment 23, and she's been in all sorts of different films, and I recognise her definitely from the back, and I think that made a lot of people dubious about her writing a book, but everyone who has read it has said that it is amazing. So the synopsis of this says it's been 10 years since Abby Williams left home and scrubbed away all evidence of her small town roots. Now working as an environmental lawyer in Chicago, she has a thriving career, a modern apartment and her pick of meaningless one-night stands. But when a new case takes her back home to Barrons, Indiana, the life Abby painstakingly created begins to crack. Tasked with investigating Optimal Plastics, the town's economic heart, she begins to find strange connections to a decade-old scandal involving the popular Casey Mitchell and her friends, just before Casey disappeared for good. As Abby tries desperately to find out what happened to Casey, troubling memories begin to resurface and she starts to doubt her own observations. And when she unearths an even more disturbing secret, her search threatens the reputation and lives of the community and risks exposing a darkness that may consume her. With tantalising twists, slow-burning suspense and a remote rural town of 5 claustrophobic miles, Bonfire is a dark exploration of what can happen when your past and present collide. I can't wait. It just sounds brilliant. So, I'm tired. There's so many books. It's quite late at night here, but I'm going to go and pick one up now, and let me know, have you read any of these? Can you recommend any of these? Are you excited for me to read any of these? I can't wait for Bookopoly 2018 to just get stuck into these books on my shelves and get reading, because there's so many good ones here that I'm very excited about. Anyway, that's it from me, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.